Hi, we're Nick and Tyler, and we live in a van.
Good morning. We slept in a little bit today, and it's sunny outside. I don't know if you can really see, but it's sunny today, which is nice. We are going to go on some hikes. We have to get ready. We're like right next to the bathrooms, which is so nice, and there's also like the water spigot right next to us, so that's good. Overall, pretty decent spot. What are your thoughts, Nick? What are your thoughts on this campground? So we're at Lafayette Campground in the middle of Franconia State Park, just to clarify.
It's a little tippy, so it's not like the most crazy level. And the only crappy part is that there's like a lot of tree coverage, so Starlink is not very happy. So it took us a minute to kind of get it up and going yesterday, but
Dropping.
yeah, it keeps dropping too. But we're gonna be out hiking. We don't really need Starlink for like a whole lot, but we just need it for like we gotta find like gas and some other things, and Tyler has to work tomorrow, so we gotta figure out hopefully the kinks of it, excuse me, today. So anyways, we're gonna go check out probably Artist Bluff first. That's the first thing that's on our list, and then we're gonna check out some other places in the park. We're so excited.
Starting the day off at Bald Mountain, Artist Bluff, 1.5 mile loop. It was way sunnier just on the other side of the notch, so I'm curious on how this hike is going to be. We may end up having to do it tomorrow as well, so that we can see it without any clouds. We made it to the top. Honestly, one of the more beautiful hikes I would say we've done. And it was very easy. Okay, I shouldn't say easy. It was not bad at all.
It's very easy. Probably the easiest hike I've ever done.
Nick's being facetious.
Well, I mean, we did hike Picacho. That one's hard. This one's very easy.
Nick's feeling really sassy today.
If you can hike Picacho, you can hike this one in like 20 seconds.
It's a nice view.
Do you want to tell them what the Old Man of the Mountain is, babe?
So basically, there was this cartographer that was going through New Hampshire because they were trying to figure out a better way to get trade to Boston or New York. And so they were like, hey, just like go around and like map everything, figure out if there's any like rivers that we can like take all the way over there. So he was here, and there's this lake, and he looked up, and on the mountain at the very top it looked like a man's face, like the perfect profile of his face, and it was in granite because that's what the mountains are here. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so they tried to preserve it for like 200 years-ish. And then about 20 years ago was when it collapsed, and they were pretty devastated.
It's like a big deal here.
One of our Harvest Host people, they were telling us about it, and like he got a little choked up.
Kind of interesting.
So, a little bit different. We'll show you where it was supposed to be. So this is the memorial. They have these like lined up where you can stand, and it like basically shows where the face used to be. So it was right up there. People would come to this lake just to see the man. As you can see, this is basically what it looked like. Man's profile. And then it all fell off. Can't really see any of it anymore. Okay, so main takeaways. This is a beautiful spot. We love the lake. We've basically just been sitting there for the last like 10 minutes. Nick's been wandering around doing like squats and stuff because that's who he is. So love that. So it's a beautiful spot. I don't super understand the like huge draw or like the amazingness that is the old man on the mountain. But it's cool, I guess. I'm happy that they have this plaza just so that we can like hang out by the lake. So yeah, overall, Franconia State Park beautiful. Highly recommend. Honestly, probably one of our favorite spots we've been across the US, I would say. Lots to do, lots to experience. The only downside is that I don't think we were necessarily anticipating having to spend a bunch of money in addition to like camping, because most state parks, like, you pay like one fee and you're good. And we want to go see the flume, but that costs money. And then we were also thinking about doing the aerial tram, and that costs money. So we basically have to pick and choose, because next week we're going to be in Niagara Falls for my birthday, and we already are spending a lot of money there.
Yeah, so I would just recommend doing some more research before you come here. It's gorgeous and it's
like
beautiful.
What we say with every place, because we don't do very much research before.
But at the same time, there's like a ton of stuff to do here that you don't have to pay for.
Yes.
There's just a lot of things that are really, really cool that you do have to pay for. So yeah, just be aware of that, because if you are not aware of that, it can be kind of a bummer. We went to go to Echo Lake to go just kind of walk around in the water like we just did, and they make you pay $4 to like spend time at Echo Lake. So just kind of keep in mind those things, that you do have to pay for a lot of the stuff that's here. But there's a lot of hikes and a lot of things that you can do that you don't have to pay for. So
okay, so we're back at our campground. We just had tuna melts, thanks Nick. And now we are going on a little bit of a hike. It's about 3 miles. We can start here at our campground. It's called Lonesome Lake Trail. So very exciting. Nick has been really obsessed with his like grip strength thing. That's like all he's been doing for the last couple days. He's a little bit obsessed.
obsession is good.
Babe, you forgot the water.
Oh.
Nick almost forgot our water. That would have been really awkward. We didn't have water earlier today on the other hike, and it was pretty short, but I was still pretty thirsty. All right, here's the trail. We wanted to go to the Cannon Mountain. It's 2.6 miles.
We're just going to the Lonesome Lake.
Yep. That's all we're doing today. Look at this cute little waterfall all the way down. It's just so tiny and cute. We may be incredibly sweaty, but we made it to the lake. We're gonna walk around it a little bit, hopefully get some more water and dry off some of this crazy sweat.
So look at me, I'm sweaty.
It was really fun though. It's a really pretty hike. Nick says it's a little bit technical, so a lot of the trail you're like climbing over roots and boulders. So if you're not sure-footed, this may not be the hike for you, but it's beautiful. So this is what a lot of the hike looks like.
Just gotta channel your inner mountain goat.
Bah. Okay, you guys, this is it. This is the lake. Wow, this is pretty.
So pretty.
So here we are at the top. The lake is over there, and there's this like little hut that you can buy food and fill up your water bottle. They also have some vault toilets, which are not my favorite thing in the world. So I'm gonna wait until we get back down for the flushing toilets. Not too bad of a hike. It's definitely humid here, so we've been pretty sweaty. But it's been fun. What are your thoughts, Nick?
I think it's a really pretty hike. It's really cool. I think it was a little bit longer than I anticipated, just because like it was more uphill than I thought it was going to be. So I think just be prepared for that. There's not a lot of like spots where it like evens off until like the very end of the trail.
True.
So
like the whole time you're working, like you're putting in a lot of effort. It's not like crazy far. I think it's like a mile up, so it's not too bad, but it's definitely not.
What tuckered me out the most was it was just up for a long time.
So yeah, but at least it's a pretty view. Look at this, you guys. It's so clear. The boards are a little bit terrifying.
Some of them are pretty solid, but some of them sag a little.
Okay, I will stay on this board. Scary.
This was a little saggy.
Yeah, that one was a little bit saggy.
It's cool because it's like so clear, but it's like deep.
Yeah.
I think that's the other cool part about it.
Last day in New Hampshire. So we're still in Franconia State Park. We are going to do the Flume Gorge hike today. And then we're heading to Vermont, which is pretty exciting. And we're only spending like 1 day in Vermont, and then we're spending like a week and a half in upstate New York.
We were gonna do a Ben & Jerry's tour in Vermont, but it's only on Saturday is their only availability, and it's
for this week. They have like very specific dates.
It's currently Wednesday, so we don't want to be chilling or driving around there for that long.
Yeah, so kind of excited to do this hike. It's like very well known. You do have to pay for it. So if you want to save a little bit of money, if you book it online, it's $18 a person. If you book it in person, it's $21 a person. So that can add up. So yeah, any other thoughts? Main takeaways from our trip.
It's been really fun. The campsite we just rated probably about a 7. They were like pretty nice, but it wasn't like our most favorite campsite. I think it was nice in terms of like hiking because we were able to do a lot of stuff, but it was pretty okay for our campsite. So we're excited to go to Vermont and to explore upstate New York.
Yeah, and in Vermont, we're staying at this cute little farm, and they like make syrup and do all sorts of stuff. And so I'm excited to show you guys. But Vermont is obviously very well known for maple syrup, and so kind of fun that we get to stay at a place that literally does that. So this is the trail for the Flume. They said basically any shoes are good. It's about 2 miles, and so far it's pretty cool. We're only a few minutes in. We've got a bridge and then the river. This part right here is called Table Rock. Bunch of water coming down. Nick's being really sweet and
I just tied a bowline.
Carry my sweater for me. Look at this. Oh, there's a waterfall up top. Guys, look how fun this is.
All right, we just got out of the gorge. Super cool, tons of waterfalls, tons of stuff to see. You could probably spend a little while just like walking up and down that little path.
The only downside is that it's a bit of a smaller path, so you kind of feel like you have to keep going just because there are other people walking by.
So yeah, they have like a viewpoint up top. I don't think it's like super great. Like you can't really see a ton. You can see Avalanche Falls, which is the top of the like the main falls, but the views from like the trail coming up through the gorge are way better.
The best part. There's still a little bit more of this like loop that hopefully there are also some cool things, but the Flume, like the gorge itself, I now understand why people are like, oh yeah, you should go. I don't know if it's necessarily like $18 for it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how like the rest of it compares, and then we can do like a recap to see if it would actually be worth the money that we spent, because it was like $38 for both of us. It's not terrible, but it's pretty expensive for a
hike,
a hiking trail. So we'll get to the end and we'll see if it was like worth the money.
Pretty little viewpoint.
So pretty.
Okay, back in the car. Hopefully you can still hear us because we're now driving. Main takeaways, very pretty. It's like a pretty easy hike. So yes, it is hills, like you may sweat a little bit. But overall, not a bad hike. Probably the easiest one that we've done here. And the most like level, like nice trail that like anybody could go on. Or I shouldn't say everybody. It is, most people can go on. It is not like wheelchair accessible. In terms of money, if you have the ability to go on the free hikes, I think that this is not worth it. Maybe if you're here for like a week and you want to just do like a thing here, it's pretty fun and there's a lot to see. There's a lot of waterfalls and stuff. But for like $18 a person, it just felt kind of steep for us, especially because we're kind of fast hikers anyways. So not ideal. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's $18 if you book it online, and it's $21 if you book it at the ticket booth per person. So I think it was cool. I don't think it was like really worth the money. The hike itself was cool, so I think I would have been okay paying if it was like a lot less. But at the same time, a lot of the stuff that you see is pretty similar to stuff that you could see in Utah or other places in Washington for free that you wouldn't have to pay for. So, yeah, I don't think, looking back, I don't think I would have paid for it again if I would have known that that's what we were going to get. Still really cool, but I think just cost-wise, it wasn't really like super worth what we paid.
So yeah, well, obviously you've seen what we saw. It was still cool, but I think like the reason we're saying that is that it was $18 a person, so it was $36 for us to go into that. And for us, that's like a meal out somewhere or doing another like cool thing,
like we booked our
cool other excursion.
We booked a couple boat tours in Niagara Falls, and that's like $30 a person. So I think I would have, now looking back, I would have rather like saved that for a different like experience versus that.
Yeah, so glad we did it just for the experience.
Yeah, not that it wasn't cool, it's still awesome.
But yeah, if you're like around and you have the expectation that you're going to be paying for it, not a big deal. We just did a lot of the free hikes and a lot of the free stuff here. That the free stuff was like so great. I don't think that you necessarily need to pay anything to experience that. So yeah, anyways, we're heading to Vermont right now, and I think we're gonna wrap up the video in Vermont because it's just gonna be kind of a quick thing. But yeah, I'll just try and take some videos on the drive there.